Remember the picture. Remember what I said and showed you right here. God is spirit. God possesses, though, a soul and a body. Now, listen to God explain it himself. Oh, by the way, the book says none of God's creation has seen God's shape because he doesn't have a shape. He's a spirit. He's invisible. Nor have they heard God's voice. That is the voice of God's spirit. They have only heard and seen the body of God. Now, here is the body talking. How does the body talk? The body talks through the soul. The soul commands the body, and the body simply speaks. He speaks the words that come from the soul. So who it is that's speaking? It's God speaking, friends. The Lord did something. What did God do? He possessed me. Me? You mean Solomon who wrote this? No, man, this ain't no Solomon. How do I know that? Because if you go read up, he got attributes of God. Now let's keep reading. When did God do this? He did this at the beginning of his way. Wait a minute, God doesn't have a beginning. Exactly. That's what he's trying to tell you. When did God possess his soul in his body? He always possessed his soul in his body. There was never a time he didn't possess his soul in his body. Why? Because to God, there is no such thing as time. Now, this right here is without time. So the Lord did something. He possessed someone, and he did it at the beginning of his way. His way is eternity. All right. Now, he did it before he started creation. So this is before creation. So before anything was created, before heaven was created, before the heavens were created, before the earth, the physical realm was created. Listen to this, folks. God possessed somebody before that. Solomon? Of course not. Solomon wasn't there, but this person said, I was there. I was there. The Lord possessed me at the beginning of his way, before he created anything. I, this person, have been what? Established from yesterday? No, man. Everlasting. This person is claiming to be God. Because only God is everlasting. Yet, it's God who possessed him. From what? The beginning. That's what the man Jesus Christ claimed over in Revelation chapter 1. Listen to this. Before there was ever physical creation and earth, when there was no depths, now he's not talking about on the earth, he's talking about the depths of creation. God says he hid his creation in the depths. I was brought forth. What do you mean he was brought forth? He was possessed, friends. Exactly how I showed you in the illustration. When there was no fountains abounding with water. What is that? That's what God created everything out of. Remember, the earth was in water and out of water. Before the mountains were settled. What mountains? The mountains in heaven, friend. Before the hills of the north. He's talking about heaven. Remember what Jesus said in the book of Isaiah? That Satan was on the mountain of God in heaven, on the hills of the north. He's not talking about here on earth, friends. I was brought forth. I was there. While as yet he had not made the earth or the fields. What's the fields? The place where he put the earth. Or the primal dust of the world. There's all your created universe. So before any kind of creation was done, when he, the Spirit, prepared what? The heavens. What about it, God? Wisdom, Jesus. I was there. When he drew a circle on the face of the deep, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he assigned the sea its limits so that the waters would not transgress his command, when he marked out the foundations of the earth. Listen, who is the he that he's making reference to? What's this he? Him. Who's talking? He's talking, the soul, through the vocal cords of the body. He doesn't have vocal cords. Doesn't have a mouth. Here's his brain, the seat of all his appetites. Here's his nature. And this is what you and I see. You can't see him. You can't see him. Or this part of him. You can only see this part of him. And this part of him have a name. The name he gave himself is Jesus. He's the only God friend you're ever going to see. Now look. Then, at that time, before creation and while creation was going on, then, look at this, I was beside him. How in the world was Jesus beside God? This is how. Because God was on the inside of him. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 19. To wit, God, him, was in Christ, him, reconciling the world to himself. How? Inside of a body. God, this, friends, that's not a mistake. It's not a misprint. He didn't mistakenly say Christ and not Jesus. God was in him, the soul. He was used the body to reconcile the world to himself. Soul can't die. He needed something, some part of himself to die. The body. I was beside him. Why? Because he was inside of me. And guess what? I was the master craftsman. The I speaking is the body and the sort of soul and the body. Because the him, the spirit, was inside of the soul and the body. God spoke and God created. Are there multiple gods? No, friends, no multiple gods. I was daily. Now, you mean then there was they no friends. What he's trying to get you and I to understand what he's saying. You and I understand in increments of time. So he's just using words that you and I can understand. The only person that God delight in is himself. That is his own soul and his own body. Now, watch. Rejoicing always before him. Now, this makes it sound like here is God and here is Jesus. And Jesus was just doing things in front of God. No, that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is God looks through my eyes. God when God thinks and moves his own hand. How was God delighting? He was delighting in his body, just like you delight in your body. How do I know you delight in your body? Because you feed that rascal. You bathe it, you clothe it, you love it. That's all Jesus is saying. So God delighted in his own body. Rejoicing, listen. So God delighted in Jesus. Only person God delight is in Jesus, his own body. Now watch. Why? Because his own body is equal with him. Rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in God's, in his inhabited earth, no, his inhabited world, which happens to be heaven, heavens, and earth. That's the world, friends. This right here equals the world. The world is not the earth. It's more than that. So God delights in his son. Jesus rejoiced in the inhabited world. And my Jesus' delight is where? With the sons of men. With angels? No, with the sons of men. So who delights in the sons of men? The body. How do I know that? Because it's the body that dies for you. But the spirit only rejoices in his own body. This is so beautiful, friend. I mean, it is just the way God did this, the way the Bible explains it. Now, that's God. And that's a short version, friends. I mean, I do a longer version where I go into a ton of scriptures on each one of these. It's called The New Birth. And I'm not finished with that series, but you can go back and look at some of the things I taught on it because it's on YouTube and Rumble, Treasuring Every Verse. Go to the playlist and just start listening to The New Birth. I go into more detail here, all right, than what I did this morning. Now,